You are now listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Relax your anus. Balls. Thick thighs. Camille Shat. Where's his neck? Eddie Jones. You're fucked, mate. We're nice now.
Okay, we're recording.
Nice.
How are you feeling?
Terrible. How you doing?
Have you had time to reflect?
Yeah, I thought I'd wake up and feel happier.
Did you?
Feel like pure shit. No.
Still?
Yeah, feel sad.
Oh, I thought you'd be able to,
Like process it.
do some meditating last night. And
No, had a bottle of wine.
hello, friends. You're listening to the Friends of Rugby.
It made me. It's like you're just like, oh, this guy's a depressed mess. Let's move on.
This is also going to be a therapy session for
Yeah.
a Welsh fan.
Yeah. I think I need to be with my people, but I can't be with my people
You have to go home.
because I live in this fucking country. Canada, not Wales, which I like. I like Canada.
What would you do if you're back home?
I just, be around other like-minded, miserable people.
Do you think there's like a candle vigil? Like, is that vigil? Like,
Yeah.
like in the town square in
Yeah,
front of
there's
fucking
like framed pictures of Alan Wynne Jones and Dag Bigger. Like,
in front of the Millennium. Like,
yeah, we're done. It's over. The dream is dead.
everyone's like singing
Yeah,
Elton John, "Candle in the Wind."
we've officially rejoined England as a country. Wales is no more.
Because you were sad yesterday.
I was sad, wasn't I? Like, not in a kind of dramatic way either. Like, I'm just deflated,
like
sad.
you were just done with rugby.
Yeah, a
and
little
all-
bit. Like, I lost a few percentage of enjoying rugby yesterday permanently. It
which
chipped
is
away.
weird because I'm just like, I feel alive when it comes to rugby.
Yeah, because it's not your your national identity at
No,
stake, is it?
I don't have that.
It's imagine if Canada were not only bad at hockey, but you thought they're never going to be good again.
That would be scary.
Yeah,
That would make me cry a little
That's-
bit.
That's how I feel.
I know how you feel.
Yeah,
Kind of.
I mean, I'm being dramatic. There's some good things to talk about, but it's pretty dire.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about first?
I want to talk about the date and then finish podcasting, if you don't mind. So I'm going to tell you that it's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to anyone who's Irish.
Oh yeah.
March 17.
Is it St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah. He was Welsh, St. Patrick.
No, he wasn't.
He was.
That's such a fucking conspiracy.
Google it.
No, I'm not gonna Google it. I already
Alright.
know.
Okay.
Isn't he the guy with the snakes?
Drove the snakes out of Ireland, yeah.
Is that the story?
That's the
Or did
story.
they just combine two stories?
No, that's what he did.
That sounds like a Simpsons episode.
I mean, it was also a
Like-
Simpsons episode.
Was it? Because it sounds like a Simpsons episode.
Separately, one of the Simpsons plot was they drove the snakes out of Springfield, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah. But, which they stole from St. Patrick, I guess, yeah.
really,
I don't know.
we
But
should.
no, wait, they beat the snakes with sticks in Springfield, and then Barry White saved
there
the
was something.
snakes.
Oh yeah, because she drops the speaker
Because
on.
the vibrations
Yeah, from
attract
the
the
singer.
snakes and they protect the snakes. So it's actually different.
That's an old
They
episode.
kept the snakes in Springfield.
My
yeah.
darling, kicking up your love, baby.
Yeah, I want to slither towards Barry White now.
We should try to get him on the. Is he
I
dead?
think he's dead, mate. Yeah,
Is Barry White dead?
pretty sure. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to get him on the podcast because I'm pretty sure we can get Barry White.
With our budget, yeah, we can get Barry White.
I think for our first guest, we should have someone completely not related to rugby.
An American soul singer.
Yeah,
Or do you mean like not even sports related?
not even sports related.
No.
Something like completely. I don't know.
Just get like someone who works at the deli counter and say,
It'll be like fucking Carrot Top. Be our first
so what do you know about rugby? Literally nothing.
Let's
Great.
leave that. If we go into my tank, my chest of secrets over here, this fucking weird Carrot Top.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, rugby stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, you doing okay though? It's not all about me. St. Patrick's Day, fine Irish
Well, I didn't even know.
championship.
I didn't even know that it was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, and you were in a French jersey yesterday.
Yeah, I was kind of
Again.
happy about the championship, but it was just wasn't the fairy tale I wanted.
No, the shine was taken off it a bit.
It was. It really was.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we'll get into that.
for sure.
Yeah, but first of all, let's talk about some Super Rugby.
Okay.
Super Rugby. Oh my gosh. So The fucking Crusaders.
They are on a streak of not winning.
They're collapsing.
Yeah. Why are they doing that?
I don't know. I haven't dug into it. I know I asked some friends about it. They still have some players. They have some injuries. They're waiting on some players to come back.
They've lost the greatest coach of all time.
Okay, so this is something that I was thinking about after I saw this loss.
Yeah.
This is terrifying. This is going to be a spooky story right now.
Okay.
Okay. If the Razor Boy Ric Flair,
Yeah.
like if he is the difference,
If he's as good as...
if he is as good,
Yeah.
like...
Which the evidence is maybe starting to show.
Yeah, like if he was the difference from having this team be the greatest team ever
Yeah.
to being now shit,
Yeah.
like what is he going to do with the All Blacks? Like that is
Yeah.
like the
And they're-
world's
They're
you gotta
already
be
pretty
shit.
good.
And he's got the best players in the world at
Yeah.
his fingertips.
Yeah.
And if he is the difference in the Crusaders,
Yeah.
the whole world's fucked.
And he's not the only important thing in the All Blacks right now. You know?
No.
They've got a hell of a backroom staff.
Yes. So now when I'm thinking about this, it's like, man, if this is the difference, like
Yeah.
if Razor Ramon here is fucking the difference,
Yeah.
like the world rugby, like everyone's fucked. They'll probably win every single game as long as he's the coach.
Ugh.
Like if he's that good,
I mean, this is the only thing is that's happened before. New Zealand have been the best thing ever before.
I still think they're the best team in the world.
As an aside, I'm a bit sick of this. Who's the best team in the world? Chat.
I think you could say I think you can say the best team in the world is
historically it's New Zealand.
Historically,
Absolutely, yeah.
and like always currently, the All Blacks. They'll beat anyone on their date, and they'll be always the favorites.
But they haven't done in the last 3 or 4 years.
But they still have beaten odds.
They're still really good. I just think they're not. I'm more saying I don't like this. Who's the best team? It's like
Okay, here's the
doesn't
thing.
matter.
Here's the thing. This is the thing. This is
Yeah.
this is what makes them the best team in the world.
Yeah,
I'll go on this.
All right.
Okay, to beat Ireland,
yeah,
you don't have to be perfect. To beat the Springboks,
yeah.
you don't have to be perfect.
Right.
To beat the All Blacks, you have to play a perfect game. Every single player has to play 110%. Otherwise, if you give them a fucking millimeter,
Yeah,
they
they'll
take it. That's what makes them the best team in the world.
Yeah,
They will win. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Right like that. No other team will do that.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
That's the difference between them and the rest of the world.
I think Ireland, to be fair, have got to that spot where they are so targeted and good that England have to play the game of the year to beat them.
Yeah, they're getting up there. I'm not saying
and
they're
I
far
think
behind.
similarly, South Africa, like if your set piece isn't the best it's ever been, you're not going to beat them.
Yes, but I've seen them lose in the last few years to teams that weren't playing perfect games. Ireland beat them the last 2 times.
They played pretty well though.
They played good, but not perfect.
Their line out was dodgy.
Yeah.
I mean,
But when you play the All Blacks, you have to be perfect.
I want to talk about this more. I just haven't thought. You caught me off guard with a really good point. So I want to think
You
about
need to
that
think
and,
about it?
and come back to you on that. But that's a good. I like that though. I like that as a talking
It's
point.
the only team in the world where you have to be perfect to beat them.
Yeah.
And like, what does that say about that team?
Yeah, I mean, it means that they have been consistently and historically so good that you have to, as you said, be as good as you can be. I think what I'm trying to say is the idea that there is a best team in the world is always a stupid idea. Not because it's not true necessarily, but that you get so caught up in the talk about it.
That's the best part.
And I like talking about it, but I think the point I'm trying to make is rugby is such a complicated, nuanced sport with so many different facets that you could be really good at the scrum and the line out, and you've got a bad attacking game. And that's what I like about the sport. There's a lot of different things going on in any given team. So to say one team is objectively better than the other is never true.
And if you think it, and also when you look at All Blacks' weaknesses,
Yeah.
it's not their defense,
No.
it's not their attack,
No.
it's not their scrum, it's not their line out,
No.
it's not their physicality.
I think
It's
it is their physicality. I think it is their physicality.
Their Achilles heel is their
Well, it's their own lack of going for 3 points.
Yes,
Their own lack of
they're
kicking
terrified
game.
of they're terrified of kicking for points.
Their territory game is not great.
No, they leave points on the board.
Yeah.
And they're disciplined.
Yeah.
That's the two things that hurts them. Every time they lose a game, it's always because of those things.
I would say, and I don't think they're not a physical team. They can go toe-to-toe with you physically.
Yeah.
But if you can smother them, and I've seen England and South Africa do this. I've seen Ireland do this, actually. If you just beat them up front enough and just put a lot of pressure on them immediately, they do kind of fade a bit.
But how many times have we seen the Springboks do that to the All Blacks, and then the next week the All Blacks dummy them?
Doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work.
Yeah, it's just they're such a unique team. Their problems also are completely coachable.
That's what I think. That's one of the things is that their weaknesses are entirely their problem to deal with, right?
Yeah.
They're very
and
fixable.
Thank God, their domestic league that they play a majority of rugby where they're just gonna learn such bad habits from is helping us. Like Super Rugby is doing a service to the world. You know,
by keeping New Zealand in their little box of don't defend.
Yeah, and making
never go for 3 points.
And completely ignore rules. Because when they get to the world stage, they're just gonna get penalized to shit, right? And they'll lose. Like when England comes in, when England comes over there,
yeah.
If New Zealand doesn't get their shit together on their discipline, they'll lose. They will lose those 2 games. Right.
There was actually, I was thinking about the Six Nations this weekend. There was a few games where some teams gave away. I think France gave away less than 5 penalties or something.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it feels like all the good Northern Hemisphere teams are just not giving away any penalties.
That's how
discipline has improved massively this weekend.
Yes, because the TMO and the reffing has evolved so much. The Northern Hemisphere has evolved with that.
You're not even risking it, are you?
No.
You're not even risking it.
It's like, we're going to play by the rules a lot more.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're going to get fucked up.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you know what,
it's worked.
It has.
And it's worked. It's made them a more formidable opponent because now all you have to do is wait for the other team to basically give you opportunities.
Yeah. It's difficult to do that old Northern Hemisphere thing where you pin a team in their half with kicks and then just wait for them to make a mistake. Because even defensively, everyone's defense is pretty good these days in the Northern Hemisphere. Mm-hmm. And they're not, unless you've got them under serious pressure on their line, they're still not giving away a lot of penalties.
Nope.
But I'll tell you something about the Super Rugbies. I think they've caught a little bit of a sickness.
What do you mean?
They've caught a little bit of Northern Hemisphere germs. I'm looking at some results.
Oh, look at some of these scores. Look at
Crusaders 10, Hurricanes 14. You guys feeling okay? Was it raining? Fucking Waratahs Blues 10-12. Where's your tries?
What was the Northern Hemisphere scores?
What is this? Disgusting.
You got the Chiefs and the Drew.
No, they still got some pretty big scorelines.
The Reds and the Rebels 53.
Yeah. But I wanted to just segue back to Super Rugby, and I wanted to say I didn't watch anything from Super Rugby. I'm just looking at the results. But based on the results, and I didn't watch anything because I watched all Six Nations Super Saturday with you, and I never want to watch rugby again. However, I'm happy to see that I'm excited to watch Super Rugby in the next few weeks because it's competitive.
Yes.
I'm really excited about that. I was ready to write this off as another, New Zealand are just going to win everything. Australia are going to be crap. And the Druitt and Moana Pacifica are just going to be these developmental sides. But no, it's not the case. Anyone could still win it. Really happy to see the Brumbies get a win.
I'm not.
Why?
I wanted the Highlanders to win.
I mean, Highlanders is my team now.
Fan, yeah.
I'm a Patchell guy now. I'm a Reece Patchell fan. They're my team, I guess.
I'm glad they won.
Yeah.
I want to see I'm glad they are. I'm glad the Brumbies won.
I'm glad. I need Australia rugby to be good. And also now Wales are so bad, I need there to be hope in other places. I need to look at Australia and go, if they can do it, we can do it. If they can drag themselves out of a hole. Yeah. Because we're both in holes.
Yeah, it's true.
So
I don't know where this came. Where did this come out of? How did the shift happen?
I think, and I wish we had a Kiwi corner with someone from New Zealand to tell me if I'm wrong or not. But I think the Crusaders were so dominant, it made it look like all the Kiwi teams were that dominant. Don't get me wrong, they generally are. But I think Crusaders not being good has kind of opened the door, and everyone's gone, oh, we've got a chance, right? We don't have to just lose to the Crusaders in every single game.
It's got to be something more than that.
It's definitely something more than that.
Yeah.
That's too simple, obviously. But
Because there's been a big change in how these Australian teams are playing.
Yeah.
Like the Tars lost by 2 points in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I remember when they won it a long, long time ago.
up the Tars.
It's a long time.
I can't remember that.
I mean, the Rebels were the team I was worried about because there was talk about them folding.
Yeah.
I mean, they did get hammered as well by the Reds.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it looks like they're not shit, which is what I'm saying. Everyone except the Rebels is not shit.
I think because I know there's a lot of Kiwi players playing in Japan still.
Yeah, there are.
So I think,
there are.
Right?
That's
so
a
a
good
lot
point.
of them are like, there's a lot of Kiwis in Japan.
All Blacks as well.
All Blacks. So
Yeah.
I think when they come back,
Oh, okay. That's the thing.
there might be a little bit of a shift in.
That's a good point.
Because like Artie Savea is fucking around in
He's not just fucking around.
Japan.
He's fucking people up.
Yeah, he's fucking people up in Japan.
Yeah.
When he gets back, he plays for the Hurricanes, and they're
Yeah.
already rocking it.
All 12 of the Barrett brothers are up
So
there, I think.
I wonder, what happens when they come back and the
Yeah.
whole paradigm shifts over.
All the Barretts walk into the changing room.
Yeah,
It's like a mafia. It's like the Peaky Blinders, the Barretts. They're the fucking Peaky
they are the
Blinders.
rugby mafia in New Zealand. There was another brother too. There was another one of them.
There's loads of them. I was reading about Wikipedia. There's like 7 siblings.
And
And one of them's a girl.
really,
I think so. Yeah.
she's like a rugby player too.
I have no idea.
She plays with the All Blacks.
I very briefly read Wikipedia. I have no idea.
But yeah, no, that's my take on the Super Rugby weekend.
Yeah, I wish we could be more insightful because we're obviously excited to talk about it, but we have such little knowledge. We're just like,
problem with-
look at those results.
The problem with
That's
doing these
fun.
games, like breaking down these games and
Yeah.
and talk about these games, is they're on at like 2 and 3 in the morning.
I mean, I'm definitely going to get into it next few weeks now. Six Nations.
like what's
is
on
over.
next weekend here? Let me take a look at next weekend. So we got. Oh, look at this. We could watch Fiji and Drua
Some of these
Waratahs.
times are good.
7:05.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at.
9:30?
I'm seeing a 9:35 p.m.
Do you want to do Chiefs Highlanders? That would be a good game.
Chiefs Highlanders, and we could do Drua Waratahs next week.
Friday night.
Friday night under the lights.
Yeah, we can do a little Friday night of Super Rugby and chill.
Yeah, we drink some beers.
Oh, that'd be actually a good idea. Let's do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll come over. We'll watch some Super Rugby.
All right.
And then, all right. But yeah, my big takeaway is the spooky story of if
Scott Robertson.
if Scott Robertson is if
Yeah.
he is the key,
Mm.
everyone's fucked. The world's fucked. He's gonna walk. He's gonna dog walk. He's gonna dog walk World Rugby, and that's terrifying.
Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not worried about it anyway. We were never threatening New Zealand, so it's up to better teams like Ireland and France, maybe in England, who are playing them to find out.
I can't wait for that.
England's like the canary down the coal mine, isn't it? Go find out how good they are, and then they come back all battered and bruised. Like, oh Jesus,
They are.
oh Jesus, that was awful.
Sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah, just send those guys in the cave.
Send England over, see what's going on down there, and they just come back and get mangled. 3 players die, and okay, well, let's just not play them.
Yeah, we're not gonna
The
go
rugby
back there.
chance has been cancelled.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, these summer test matches and the rugby championship is going to be
Oh, juicy.
fire.
Yeah, I'm liking the narratives already.
Oh, man,
yeah.
the narratives make it all. Like,
Yeah, we do. Yeah, Joe Schmidt at Ireland. Razzie started talking a bit as well. Started piping up about things.
Oh, yeah, he's starting to get in there.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, it's
I
gonna be
can't
juicy.
wait.
Yeah,
Ugh.
excellent.
All right, so should we talk about some Six Nations?
No, I think we should call it there.
That's it? Shut it down. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
If you have any questions, you can email
No,
us.
I'm good. Now go. Okay. Let's do it. Let's get it out the way, shall we? So
Yeah.
chronologically.
Rip that Band-Aid off.
Oh, okay.
Should I turn my mic on mute and just let you go?
Okay, so first thing I want to do, because I don't want to sound like a depressing piece of shit, is I want to talk about Italy to start. This is the best I've ever seen them play. Not just against us, because we were shite, and it's a hard barometer when you're crap, but they should have won against France, right?
Mm-hmm.
They beat Scotland, there was no luck there, right? When I've seen Italy beat teams in the past, feels like they've caught a team off guard, hung in the fight, and then fluked it at the end a bit. They have 2 convincing wins now. So not only do they have the most wins they've ever had consecutively in a tournament in Six Nations, both of those wins were deserved, right? There was no snatching defeat from the jaws of victory by the other team there, you know?
The thing about Italy is, they make it hard to watch because they make you believe.
Yeah.
They come pounding out the door.
Yeah.
And they get a lead.
Yeah.
And then they go straight into survival mode.
They do. It's like what the hell do we do with
that
this?
That whole second half was pure heart hero survival mode.
But it never felt like luck though. Like everything they defended like warriors on that line, you know?
They did, but
it's
they
not
put you on the
comfortable, is
line.
it? It's not comfortable.
They put your heart on the line real hard.
Because they could have, I think going in at halftime against us, they could have been on up by a lot more. We were that bad, right?
If they just would have got that kick in France.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I knew we were going to have a bad day when Paolo Garbisi walks out ready to take a kick and his fucking ball stayed on the tee. I thought this is going to be a bad day.
Yeah, there was no like voodoo
the ghostly
mojo.
French winds were there to save us.
Like, all the French blowing their cigarette smoke towards the tee.
Didn't work in the Millennium. We didn't get the memo.
Yeah,
because our fans all had fucking wooden spoons in their mouths, which was pretty funny. Anyway, so yeah, before I get into Wales, like Italy, amazing, and it's genuinely good for the tournament that Italy are good now. I hope it stays that way. And another thing I should say about it is, we were talking about Squidge Rugby gaslighting us. He fucking wasn't. He was right.
Yeah, he was right.
He was right. He was playing the long game. Who's laughing now? Fucking him.
He is.
He was like, you know what, guys? One day Italy can be good, and here's the evidence. And we're like, shut the fuck up. And he was fucking right.
He was right.
And another thing I want to say is Gonzalo Quesada, he's done something. Because I remember Italy in the World Cup, they were shit. Like, he's done something good, doesn't he?
I think he's changed the whole, yeah. The only thing I'm going off of is that Netflix documentary what I saw.
They made him look like an asshole.
They made Kieran Crowley look like he was there for a paycheck.
They made him look like he resented his team, didn't they?
I think he's changed that whole culture of that team.
Yeah.
There's been a culture change.
There has.
And there's people like Lina hasn't lost a game in an Italy jersey.
What a statistic.
Right?
Lewis Lina has a 100% win record for Italy.
Yeah. So it's like...
And it's consecutive. It's not like he was injured. He's both of the games.
Yeah. And like he's never lost a game. Like there's some players, like he's bringing a winning culture.
Yeah.
Who is this coach? He came from the top
Argentinian.
4. Did you look him up? Did you bring him up or anything?
Yeah, he's Argentinian, yeah.
I know he's Argentinian, but do you know his history or anything? Did you look it up?
I think he's from Argentina.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Okay. Because I know he was coaching in the top 14.
Yeah.
I did look him up a while ago.
Yeah.
But I need to go deep dive into this guy. Because
I'm gonna tell you something while you Google his name, okay? So we can find some more information. I'm gonna tell you a little story about Italians and Argentinians. I went to Argentina, right?
Yeah.
And you know how...
You went to Argentina?
Yeah, I was there for 2 months. I had a blast.
2 months?
Yeah, had a great time.
Oh, I did not know this.
There's a Welsh-speaking colony in a place called Patagonia. So we went there and we built a garden and spoke Welsh with a bunch of Argentinians. It was awesome. It was very strange, actually. I could tell you about that, but I want to stick to rugby.
Yes.
Right? So, you know how in America you've got people who think they're Italian and think they're Irish and Scottish and stuff, right? All my ancestry is X, Y, and Z. And in South America, they speak Spanish predominantly, except in Brazil, right?
Yeah.
And you would think that a lot of them claim a heritage from Spain, which they do. But in Argentina, they all think they're Italian. They all think they're like Americans who think they're Irish or Italian.
Yeah.
They all hardcore think they're Italian. There's, they do all this Italian shit. They talk about all this Italian culture and stuff. And it was weird because you go to a lot of other South American countries, they have indigenous culture and they have Spanish from Spain culture, right? But no, in Argentina, so they've got a strong connection with Italy already, right? So this guy was made to coach them. He
also speaks Italian too.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because it's not like a fake thing either. There's a lot of people in Argentina who genuinely do have Italian heritage.
Argentina's like an odd South American country because they even speak their Spanish is
it's
a little odd
weird.
too.
I mean, I would say that about a lot of different South American countries, but yeah, they do. They're definitely they see themselves as. We've got a Brazilian friend at our rugby club, right? Ask him what he thinks about Argentinians. And he has some choice words about it.
They're a little hoity-toity, aren't they?
That's a polite way of putting it. They think they're better than other people in South America.
It's like when you call when you call an English guy European.
Yeah, they don't like it.
Yeah, they're like, no, I'm British.
Yeah, I'm British, exactly. Yeah.
I was like, no,
you're still from the continent of Europe, though.
Yeah,
right?
you're still, because I remember someone correcting me on that a couple times.
Yeah.
And I thought, I was like, oh, yeah, but you guys are European, so it's
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
No,
no, mate, listen here, right? We're not European. We left Europe, right, mate?
British, and you're like,
geographically,
okay.
he's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, they are a bit they do think they're a bit better than other people, according to my Brazilian friend, and a little bit based on my experience.
You know what? Anecdotal evidence is the way to go.
That's right. Truth is irrelevant these days.
Yeah.
So you may as well
you don't need to ask multiple people. Just ask one guy, and if he's had an experience.
You're right.
That's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah. So, but Gonzalo Quesada, he has some coaching experience. He was at Toulon.
Also, their discipline. They did take Italy took 9 penalties.
Yeah.
Which is not great.
I think.
But it used to be like
you aim for under 10 at international level.
It used
That's
to be
the
like
rule
15, 18. Like it used to be 10 plus all the time.
And you could almost guarantee a card, couldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Like their discipline was good. They didn't fade. That was the big thing for me. Like they didn't go away. Like Italy go away at 60 minutes historically.
And that Menicello and Brex,
Ignacio Brex. What a partnership, eh?
Okay, they have to be, in my mind,
the
best center pairing in the Six Nations
because they've maybe.
I can't think of a more effective.
Overachievement there is incredible, isn't it? Yeah.
They were game changers.
Yeah, they were.
And everything was just like they just created so much opportunity and like saved. They did so much like saving.
Yeah.
Like I don't know where those two guys came from.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they weren't in the World Cup squad.
No, and that's what I was trying to talk about is like where did this Italy come from? Like they've brought in a lot of good new players.
It just shows like the difference a coach can make in a team.
I think the coaching is the biggest factor here. Like I'm not an expert, but that's got to be the main thing, isn't it? And then another thing I want to say about Italy as well, because I'm not being super eloquent about it because I'm quite sad about this game, but I do want to mention the narrative around it, which I thought was quite insulting from some of the TV pundits. It was like talking about Italy when they'd won as if this was the avoiding the wooden spoon game, right? We should be talking them up, right? Like they've won as many games as Scotland have, and they've drawn a game.
They've proven the world wrong.
They have, and
they've proven even us wrong.
Oh, they've proven us wrong, absolutely. I mean, to be fair, there wasn't much evidence for it in the World Cup, was there? I didn't see it coming.
No.
But I'm happy it's happened.
Yeah.
If it's at our expense, so be it,
100%.
So, this really good for the tournament, because all of a sudden, I know Italian players' names, right? I wouldn't watch some of these Italian games. What was the point, right? It's a break weekend for most teams. And now it's not. Now
you would do that. You'd skip the game.
Now next tournament, there's a pressure on them because they've got to kick on. But now I'm going to watch every single Italian game with a bit more interest and go, I want to know these guys' names because they're a threat, right?
I want to know your name.
I want to know what love is.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Wales?
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna try and keep it succinct and not cry. I think so emotionally, here's where I'm at with it. Like, the week before when we lost to France, I was like, Gatlin's still got cash in the bank. Things are moving in the right direction. That's still true, but the truth is, it's exposed a gaping hole, which we always knew was there in Welsh rugby.
How iconic was it when Winnett and Costello ran into each other trying to catch that ball?
And it was sort of like a metaphor for where we're at. Two children running headfirst into each other and not communicating. And to be fair, I thought that was Winnett's ball, and I think Winnett thought that was Winnett's ball. Costello was just being an idiot.
He had a shocker.
Because he's a fucking kid. He missed touch 3 times. And people will be like, oh, get rid of him, find someone else. There is nobody else. It's him. He gets better or we get worse, right? That's it. There's nobody else,
It's time you guys get some projects.
Tinus de Beer, we're working on him.
Tinus de Beer.
Yeah, it's somewhere in a laboratory in Cardiff.
I wouldn't be like, how old is he?
I don't know. He's good though.
We bring this guy up so much.
We love him.
Yeah, because we do love him. He's great.
Yeah, there's a history of players at Cardiff who were a bit like cult status. I don't remember a guy called Dan Fish.
Yeah,
he was a skinny little bald guy who just everyone at Cardiff loved him. Anyway,
this was the worst Welsh performance I've ever seen.
Yeah,
minus the last 20 minutes, but
it wasn't like
they stacked up meters in the last 20 minutes of that game. Like Wales were pushing for a win there.
Yeah.
And it was just too late.
I've never watched an Italian game where we weren't in control. Even when they beat us a couple of years ago, we were in control for most of that game.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a bit of luck by Italy at the end. Bit of skill, bit of magic. But I never felt like we were going to lose that game. I felt like we were going to lose this game from the second it started. And I was like, we've lost this, Never felt like that in my life. So it wasn't so much that the performance bad, which it was. It was just that we were on par with Italy in terms of skill and ability now, if not worse, Never felt like that before. I think Tompkins had a shocker. Like, he knocked it on a few times. I think he might have played himself out of a Wales jersey. And then when Mason Grady came on, I was like, he's a lot better. We got to stick with him now.
Yeah, as soon as he came on, he mmade such a huge difference.
Well, Mason Grady also knocked it on, but then when he started doing stuff good, it was like, okay.
Yeah, he did make some fuck ups too.
Yeah,
but I was like, why is Gatlin hiding this guy?
I think because he's raw. You can see that he is raw. Like, he still makes mistakes, like he did in that game. And I think Gatlin wanted to win that game badly, right? I think in a way this is the best thing that could happen to Welsh Rugby, because if we'd have won that game, that would have been like the final band-aid over the massive crack in our wall, right? But now this has happened. It's like there's no hiding from it, right? The WRU really has to take a serious look at itself.
Oh, everything must be so dire right now in the Welsh Rugby.
Yeah.
Like, how did you feel about that Gatlin offering to resign?
You know what? When I first read the headline, I was like, oh, shit. And then when I read it a bit more, I thought that's the smartest thing he could have said. He's a smart guy. Because you think about it, right? Like, he is saying, I'm ready to go if you want me to. Because he's removing his ego from the situation whilst also putting all the pressure on himself and away from the players, right? He's saying, this is entirely my fault. I've made a massive fuck up and I'll go if you want me to. And then he said that Abby Tierney, our new CEO, she said, don't you dare go, we need you. And yeah, he's controlling the narrative there, obviously. We don't know that's what she said, but I have no reason to doubt him. But it's quite a genius move in a way.
It was kind of odd that when I read the full quote like that, because I just thought that he said to the media, I offered to resign. Yeah. I didn't know he said the other things.
Yeah.
And it wasn't actually to this morning when I looked into when I read
welcome to 21st century media.
Yeah.
Like,
and then I read the rest of it. I was like, oh, that was kind of an odd thing to say. He's like, I offered to resign. But the boss said, no way, we need you. And I was like,
it sounds more arrogant when you read it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's actually I think it's really smart because he's taking all the pressure off the players, taking all the responsibility on himself, but simultaneously saying, like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, because there's nobody else. And he's right, though. That's the truth about it. There's no one else for this job right now.
I think I disagree with that. I think there's lots of guys that can come in, but there is no one that is ingrained in that system.
That's why it has to be him, because you couldn't bring in anyone else, and they know Welsh Rugby as well as he does.
And he's proven time and time again.
Yeah,
he's not a bad coach.
He's an excellent coach.
And
you could talk about his style of rugby of Warrnambool. And I always had a problem with that insinuation because everyone does it. He just got the moniker, right? Everyone plays that style of rugby. Nobody does this champagne rugby in the world, right? In fact, teams like South Africa, England, and Ireland just do it better now, right? And people, if we wanted innovation, that would come at a time when we have a good quality squad. Right now, we need to teach young players how to play the basics well at international level. I can't think of anyone in the world who's better at that than Warren Gatland.
There needs to be some wholesale changes in Wales. Like they need to do some like crazy shit.
They have done though. They have done behind the scenes. There have been changes in the WRU.
But there's some things they could do that would like. I don't know. I don't know. Actually, when I think about it, because we had a conversation about this the other day. It's like if you get rid of the eligibility rule, like that would bring a couple guys back.
It's not many though.
But not many when you think about it.
It's Joe Hawkins at Exeter.
Yeah,
but we've already lost Faye Waboso because of it, so he's not coming back.
But I think it still would make a difference.
No, but I think I was thinking about this morning. If you got rid of it, you might lose Jack Morgan and Dewi Lake, who are captains.
So
we can't lose our captains. They
would just go and then you'd get them when you need them for Wales, and they would rock it.
Your captain has to play in your country. If you're Welsh, he does. It's okay if you're South Africa and you have the depth of they've got. No. I'm not saying don't change it, but I'm not saying. I think there's a lot of people being really reactionary about it and saying it's the worst idea ever. There's a reason it exists. The problem is how much we pay our players. If the Welsh Rugby Union tomorrow said we've messed up by underfunding the regions, we fired a couple people, freed up some money, have $1 million pounds more each, that would make a difference.
Yeah, I guess you could help out the club's pay
That's what needs to happen.
to get these players
That's
to stay.
exactly what needs to happen.
Yeah, that would make a big difference too.
Yeah. But I don't want to go on about this too much because this isn't the Welsh Rugby podcast or anything. So.
Well, we're talking about the game, so we have time to talk about the game. This isn't it's fine to talk about the game when we're talking about the game.
There's other
we're talking
excellent
about the
rugby
stories
teams out there
behind the game.
All right. Okay, well, I'll just sort of have a look at my notes.
No, I'll take over. It's okay. It's okay. Hold on a second here. So yeah, Wales fucking suck.
Yeah, they fucking do. I'm sad anyway. I'm
sad for David Jenkins.
Oh, he looked. Another thing I'm ashamed.
You're gonna take that to. He's gonna take that to heart.
He looked gutted at the end.
And he
just
plays
looked defeated.
He's an amazing player, and that's gonna be like. I'm just worried about guys like him and who is that fucking fly half for Australia. I kind of take those two they're very similar situations.
Right at the start of their career.
Yeah,
the stars of their country,
and
their confidence just takes an absolute sledgehammer to the face. Yeah.
What the fuck's his name?
Is it Donaldson?
No, that's the guy he brought in as the other 10 that never plays 10. But Eddie Jones fucked that kid up. The kid I'm talking about.
You're talking about Quade Cooper.
No,
I'm joking.
He's not a kid, anyways.
No, I'm joking.
But I feel bad for David Jenkins. This is his first time as captain, being the captain. He's leading this charge of this and.
It's like the Alamo, isn't it? You're going to die, but you got to stand and fight.
Yeah, I just really hope this galvanizes him instead.
I think the good thing for him is he'll go back to Exeter, win a bunch of games, and be amazing. And it'll be like, oh, he needs that kind of ointment for the soul,
Yeah, I really hope this has a positive effect. I hope these players take this experience.
Oh, they definitely learn some things. Yeah,
but a lot of these players got to go back to losing clubs. That's the worst part.
No, it is the worst part.
They just fucking got embarrassed in the Six Nations, and now they got to go back to these Welsh regions.
Yeah,
and then lose.
Yeah.
So that's going to be tough. Those players that easily, at least David Jenkins can get out, right? He can go to the resort of Exeter, right, and
go have a spa or win some games.
Yeah, but a lot of these players got to go back to the Dragons,
Aaron Wainwright, Rio Dyer, quality. And that, what's impressive is those guys have some brass testicles to be as good as they are and haven't won a game in maybe a year.
And then they got to get fucking dummied.
Yeah.
That's going to be depressing.
I'll tell you the saddest story of the weekend for me was George North limping off after getting hammered for his final game in Wales on crutches. And he stood there signing autographs in the tunnel, smile on his face. What must be going through it? Well, and what a guy, what a legend,
Man, in sport, when it comes to sport,
going
out on top, not a lot of people do it.
No, they don't. I just felt like he deserved... I'm happy to lose to Italy, but the manner in which we lost must have hurt for him, right? Because you could, maybe he could have got a try. It'd have been a really exciting back and forth game. It wasn't though, was it? We scored a couple desperate tries at the end and he got injured. And you're right. You're absolutely right. Not many people get to choose their exit. I just felt like if someone deserved a walk off into the sunset, it was him,
Yeah, there's lots of people you see, even Johnny Sexton.
Yeah.
That was it was his last chance. The team is so good. Everything's going right.
That was peak Ireland, wasn't it?
The last 2 years were a fairy tale.
Yeah.
And you're just they're going to win the World Cup. And when they lost to New Zealand, you just don't get to go out on top. A lot of people don't.
And those are the guys who get to go out playing the game, right? There's some guys who'll get an injury, we'll never see him again. Some guys like Reece Webb get accused of taking steroids, and it's just where's he now?
Yeah.
So,
you just don't get to not. Him limping off, sad, but that's sport.
Yeah, it is.
You know what? I bet you we're thinking about it way more than he's ever thinking about it.
Bank account's probably not thinking about it too much. He's probably doing all right.
Just a second here. We're recording. Sorry, we had to have our annual. Our weekly dog interruption.
Yeah. Don't worry, I've given him away to another family now.
Oh, God, don't say that.
Oh, I love my dog. He'll be happier there.
So anyways, where were we again? We were talking about
the worst rugby team in... Okay, well, something funny that I want to say, right?
Yeah.
Is I've always felt like Wales are like the first boss in a video game for up and coming teams. So in the World Cup, when it was like Portugal and Fiji, like Fiji finally get their shit together. It's like Fiji are going to be good now, and it's like, well, you have to face your first boss, Tier 1 Wales.
You guys
like,
got to be the bad guys.
Yeah, we always the bad guys. So anytime like a team is up and coming, they're the darlings of World Rugby. You've got to beat your first boss. It's got to be, if you can beat Wales, you can join the big boys.
Bad guys, Wales.
Yeah, so we're always like, and I felt like yesterday we lost our we're the bad guys you've got to beat to be good team. Now it's like, now we're not a threat,
Now next time when you guys start picking up your team, you guys are gonna be the darlings.
We're gonna be the darlings of World Rugby. I'm excited. Yeah.
So, or actually, it'll be like, it'll be something like Portugal will be coming up, and then they're gonna beat you guys. Yeah. Because I was cheering for Italy in that game.
I would have if I wasn't.
I wanted
Welsh.
that.
Yeah, totally.
I wanted Italy to have something.
It's good for World Rugby. Like I get it, and it was the same when we beat Fiji in the World Cup. Like everyone hated us, like we just like killed a child or something,
Yeah.
But I am excited for. Yeah, it was good for the tournament though. Like if Italy, but there's pressure on Italy now to maintain that.
Yeah.
Because if they just capitulate next year, then it was a flash in the pan, right? But
it's up to them. Yeah, it's up to them. I think you know what? They're also like going back to teams that are playing pretty decent. They're doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, Benetton are okay now.
Yeah, Benetton are okay.
Zebra are probably as good as a medium tier Welsh region now.
Yeah. So
there's hope.
There is hope.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this.
I wish I had some hope.
Should we talk about the next game?
But had I think I said all the sad things, didn't I?
Are you all? Did you
let me just read my sad notes.
Got your notes out now?
I think that's it. Yeah,
I think it's it.
I've expunged some demons. I'm now a hockey fan though.
You switch over.
Yeah, go Oilers.
Yeah, go Oilers.
Ireland, Scotland.
Ireland, Scotland.
My least favorite game. Actually, how could I dare say that was my least favorite game of the weekend? I know exactly. The least entertaining game from the weekend from a neutral point of view. How about that?
It kind of was.
Yeah.
I kind of was. I wasn't really getting up for this game. I wasn't too excited. The whole Super Slam is over with. So it's
talk about that a bit. Talk about taking the sheen off the Slam because as an Irish fan, I'd still be pretty pleased. I think.
You should be pleased that they won. 2 Six Nations in a row.
Impressive.
But that story of the Super Slam.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
So I was and this game was messy.
It was messy. I think that's why I didn't enjoy it as much. It felt like neither team could grab it.
Now, to be fair, like, Scotland were heroic in defense. Like
they were
getting their fucking asses kicked.
After about 20 minutes when Ireland decided, no, we're a lot better than this. Let's just win the game. But Scotland, but we'll still defend valiantly.
Oh my gosh. Like they were just like the pressure they're putting on defense was so incredible.
Yeah, it was.
They're just like, it was like, have you ever seen that video where they like drag that goalie, into the net and it's like a penalty shot and then he gets hit in the head and then they like keep dragging him out and then he just gets hit in the head every time and right in the face and he's like all bloody. It was like that with Scotland. Like they were just like putting their bodies on the line and man, uncharacteristically, like Ireland were fucking messy in this game.
They were messy.
I wonder if there must have been...
They looked a bit rattled from that game before, eh?
I wonder if there was a bit of hangover from losing from England.
Yeah,
and I think that whole slam, like I think there was a little bit of depression. I think some like losing that Grand Slam depression.
Yeah, I think so.
Because if that Grand Slam was on the line, they would have like been more up for it. I think there was a lack of motivation in that game.
I think so too. One thing you hear from coaches a lot is we never talk about the Grand Slam. Even Andy Farrell said this about this tournament. We talk about the next game in front of us, right? And that's what the coaches talk about. Mm-hmm. But there's always a part of me that thinks, yeah, but if I was a player, I'm thinking about the double Grand Slam, like the fucking double goose egg fucking deliciousness, like. So I think there was a bit of a hangover as well. I think Scotland, to be fair, for the first 20 minutes, they looked really threatening. Yeah. They actually looked good. And like Scotland are just perpetually disappointing for me because there's so much potential to be this incredible attacking team. And then they go most of the game without scoring a try,
There was just nothing to go off of.
The platform was poor, wasn't it?
Ireland were just like constantly on attack.
Yeah.
Constantly pushing the line.
Yeah.
And like Scotland played in survival mode.
Yeah.
in that game. Actually, this score is actually a lot closer than that game looked like it was supposed to be.
So maybe I should be giving Scotland more credit just for staying in the fight rather than not being as threatening. I do want to say as a positive Scotland though, like Andy Christie, man, like he is class.
Oh,
that number 6, Andy Christie, like that first 10, 20 minutes, like he was everywhere. Like he's exciting. I'm really excited for him to. And Scotland need some forwards that are kind of dynamic because they're missing, Jamie Ritchie, Hamish Watson in their heyday. When those two were playing well, like, wow, Scotland were just all over it at the breakdown. And this guy was good, man. Andy Christie
their
was
forward pack let them down in this game.
Did.
They were really good in defense, but trying to get that forward ball, they just didn't have it.
It felt like some weird chess match of substitutions at one point. Like there was a whole 20-minute period where it was just really messy and it was like they would bring someone off, put someone on for both teams. And it felt like there was too much switching and changing for there to be any flow in the game. It was just like who can bring on the bigger forward, This little chess match of physicality.
Yeah, Ireland put but that scoreline, you could just show how good Scotland played in defense.
Maybe
they took 13 penalties that game.
Yeah.
You know what? Ireland took 4.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
They both took a yellow card.
Yeah.
But even when it took Scotland getting a yellow card for Ireland to finally get through the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was just there was a lot of handling errors from Ireland too.
Yeah.
That scoreline should have been.
There was a lot of knock-ons from Ireland, actually.
A lot of knock-ons. A lot of guys not ready for the pass.
Yeah.
Jordan Larmour, kind of from what I remember,
didn't have the best game.
No, I thought he did some good things, but he knocked on the ball a few times. Even Gary Ringrose, even though it's the first game back since he's been injured.
Yeah.
And Harry Byrne with his fucking face plant on.
Yeah, he wasn't on the field very long, was he?
No, he goes and runs his face. I think he ran into. I think it was Finn Russell, wasn't it?
Either that or Blair Kinghorn. I can't remember. Remember. Yeah.
But fuck, I was like, what a fucking man. He actually I really like Harry Byrne too.
Yeah.
I really like his pass.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing.
It was a fucking this was a messy fucking game.
It's sad because there was a lot of opportunities for some Irish players to put the hand up and for Ireland to build a bit more depth in some of those positions they don't have depth in, and it was a bit of a disaster in that respect. I thought Lama really needed to have pretty much a perfect game.
Yeah, he really got an opportunity there.
Yeah, and the same with Byrne. He really needed to be kind of immaculate for 10, 20 minutes. And both of them, I'm sure that they're very good players, but it does show the gulf in quality between Ireland's first and second choice players, doesn't it?
There were some players though that played fucking really good this game. And Calvin Nash was amazing.
He was.
James Lowe again. Andrew Porter, their whole forward pack was.
Finlay Bealham was on for a lot of the game as well, wasn't he? And he was decent.
I think he came in at 60 minutes.
Wasn't that a HIA change as well, rather than?
I can't remember.
I thought he was in earlier than that.
He was on for no. He came on at 51 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So, but man, I think Scotland's forward pack really let them down.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, though, I'm trying. I've been pretty mean about Scotland. Maybe I'm projecting a bit because we're so shit, and I want another team to kind of show us the way. And I just think, for Scotland, these are the kind of games where you have to show some attacking promise. You've just lost to Italy. You have an incredible backline. Please fucking use it. Defensively they're great, but it's. We all know this, and Wales have been guilty of this. You don't win the game with defense, right?
Their forward pack is missing a cuntiness. They need to be more cunty.
Yeah,
that's the problem with the Scotland forward pack. They're not. They're a
bit too naive, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not tough. And I'm not gonna say they're not tough enough, but they got to be more. They got to bully. They got to come in and start bullying teams. I don't think these guys are bad. I don't think Schumann and Ferguson and Turner.
No, they're good players.
That front three, those guys are great.
Yeah, they can hold up the scrum. But, it's little things, though, isn't it? And Ireland, Andrew Porter specifically, is very good at playing around the fringes, i.e., you watch him when he's off the ball, he's holding guys' legs, he's pinning dudes in. Scotland are everyone does it. I'm not saying this is an Ireland thing. Everybody does it. But Scotland don't do it as much as they hate to say it, they need to cheat more. Like they
gotta be cunty.
They do. They have to
be more cunty.
They have to and the thing is, it's not coming from a place of wanting to be. It's coming from a place of doing every single thing you can to win a game.
You need the Joe Marler dark arts.
You do, right?
Yeah.
Andrew Porter's a level 50 necromancer. Joe Marler's a level 100 necromancer. Yeah. And it feels like the Scotland have just made their character sheet. Like. It's like we can do these things. Yeah, you can. You just got to figure out how to get away with it. You know?
Finn Russell had nothing to work off in this game.
No, he didn't have a platform, did he?
No. And
he never looked scared. Like he takes it up to the line. He always finds a little gap or something. But yeah, he just did not have the platform, did he? So what are you gonna do?
I'm just kind of worried about after watching these last 2 games with Ireland, and they got to go to South Africa after this. Ooh.
But they're going into that knowing what they need to work on. South Africa won't have played a game of rugby in a while.
They'll play one
against Wales.
Yeah, they got to go against Wales.
Those guys suck.
What I'm thinking too, if imagine if Ireland's last 2 games were England-France.
I feel like they had a bit of an easy run in this Six Nations.
Because they got a messy France.
I mean, no one knew France were going to be crap, but in the end they were.
They got a really messy, disjointed France that was trying to figure their shit out.
Then they got the 2 shittest teams in the tournament.
Then they got the 2... Well, yeah.
That's harsh on Italy.
Yeah. And then they played against England that finally got their shit together.
Yeah.
And then Scotland, who pretty much had their shit together, were as good as they can be.
But they were at the end of a ropey tournament at the end. Yeah. They just lost to Italy,
Yeah.
I keep slagging Italy. Italy are good now. I need to change my mindset about it.
We're going to have to eventually.
Yeah. We're
going to have to.
Yeah. Weird tournament, eh?
It is.
This is a very strange
Netflix
tournament.
must be like licking their chops with all the stories for this because they got to do the season 2.
I think the stories are going to be kind of anticlimactic.
It's going to be great.
Nothing happened that was foretold. None of the fairy stories happened, No, Italy are the fairy story.
What are you talking about? Who thought that England was going to beat Ireland? No one.
But they're the bad guys.
Right?
No one wants them to beat Ireland.
Not to the world. Yeah, kind of maybe.
Yeah, no, to the world. To the world.
So Scotland beating England, France beating England.
I just didn't like that Netflix documentary, so yeah.
Yeah, you're just because you're a hater.
Yeah, I am.
But there's some story. Maybe they did, right? Maybe they were controlling the narrative.
Well, they could have controlled it a little bit better.
The Netflix globalist elites.
They could have given us one win, those bastards.
Yeah, you got some stories to tell.
I don't want to tell
some
stories.
Drama.
I want to watch hockey now.
You don't want to watch. You don't want to watch the next season because it's going to be this like fucking. It's also the.
They're going to edit it to make Gatlin seem like an evil bastard. Like
they just delete Wales from the whole documentary. They're not even in it.
Scotland had a bye week.
They just fucking ghost them. Yeah. I wonder how much they're going to focus on that. I wonder what we're going to see from the inside from that documentary from the Wales camp.
Do you know what I kind of respected about Wales in the whole Netflix filming cycle is that like a lot of other teams, they were a bit hesitant.
You only watched 2 episodes.
Yeah, I know, but
you didn't even get to the. You didn't even get to the episode.
Do you know what this information I'm about to tell you doesn't even come from watching it? It comes from shit I heard about it. Okay. So it's purely anecdotal.
Yeah.
But like, all the other teams are like, yeah, come into our dressing room, you can interview people and stuff. And Wales is like, no, fuck off, leave us alone. We're striking. And I like that.
About that because they did.
Well, I saw them. They were in the cafeteria.
Now you sound like a dum-dum.
With Louis Rees-Zammit and Dan Biggar. I watched that episode and it was boring. Like,
so they went into they get into
the most media trained people who are like, yes, rugby is fun. We are training hard today. I'm eating a salmon. Well,
I'm done with talking about this Ireland-Scotland game.
Okay. We weren't even talking about that. We're talking about
Netflix.
Money, baby.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the best game of the weekend.
Do you have anything else to add to this?
Let me look at my notes. Nope.
Okay, let's go to this. This was game of the weekend.
It was. From a neutral, I was up for this. This was a little bit of
France, England.
Oh.
This game.
It's funny.
Really, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Help me with your book learning here.
Tickled my prostate.
No, that's not what I wanted. This game did tickle my prostate though a little bit.
I had a great time.
Yeah, what a fucking back and forth game.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, both teams.
I'm not going to say I was a neutral. I was cheering for France.
I was cheering for France too.
But it was nice. It was fun to see little baby Marcus Smith doing some cool things.
The crowd.
Yeah,
the crowd was in it.
The French crowd just like booing. It was like a Roman gladiator pit, right?
I fucking love those guys.
Yes.
I love a good I love when the crowd's
into it. I love some French booing. They'll boo anything.
They love booing.
They do.
Like when I was at the World Cup, they were fucking booing everything.
They would boo the disabled mascot for a laugh. You know, like, fuck that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, they fucking all over the place with the boos.
Yeah.
No, but what do you think is the main story that comes out of this game?
I think the main story from an England point of view is there's something there now. Borthwick's probably saved his job. There's some attacking intent. It's fun. And I think from a France point of view, they've figured out how to live without Dupont in a good way, right? So they're both positives, actually. They both played a hell of a game. I could see the disappointment in Jamie George's face at the end, which was totally understandable. He wants to build some momentum. But then in the post-match with Borthwick and Jamie George, they were a little bit like standoffish. Like the questions were still probing, like, what the hell's going on? Why aren't you winning more? And both Borthwick and Jamie George were like, no, fuck you. We're proud of that performance. We're proud of the boys. We've showed what we can do. So they're managing they're trying to turn this narrative into something's here. And I believe them a bit more now. Because they were rightfully getting pilloried for a lot of shit. They were shit for a while, you know? And with the resources they got, there's no excuse.
They did. England's got some problems with their discipline. They made this game a lot harder on themselves than they needed to.
Yeah.
Like France they got some players come out of the woodwork.
In a great way, though.
Yes.
Peno, the greased up, slippery pig.
Yeah, they had a lot
slipping through holes.
They had a lot of veteran players step up.
Ramos was class at 10.
He's fucking...
Bit defensively wobbly, but he was doing
He's stone cold, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Ice in his veins.
There is ice in his veins. He is the ice man.
Doesn't give a shit, does he?
Yeah, like he is... but that... what's his name? Legaric?
Legaric the 9.
Yeah, he looks great.
What a suitable replacement, yeah.
Yeah, like what a...
Yeah, totally. No, France were class. I think they've refound their identity in that game a bit. You know, they use their power game to give their backs a platform, and then when the backs get it, like, wow, they can move.
They play some fucking chaos rugby.
They love it, don't they?
Yeah.
I feel like France are what South Africa could be if South Africa could involve their backs a bit more, right? Because they've got some monsters in their pack, and they can absolutely destroy you up front, and that means they can release their backs a lot quicker than other teams.
I thought that England really fucking put it to them, though.
They did, and they got 3 tries in about 10 minutes, didn't they?
Their forward pack was the French forward pack was putting a lot of pressure on England.
Yeah.
But I thought England's guys were up for it.
They matched it. They did.
They took a lot of penalties this game.
Yeah.
I think because of the pressure from the French pack.
Yeah.
But England's a hard team to outmuscle.
They're always going to have big boys, aren't
they?
They're always going to have big boys, yeah.
But I think even Gael Fickou, he had a fucking rocker of a game too.
He did, man.
A lot of people stepped up in this. Actually, both teams, a lot of guys stepped up.
I can't think of many people who had a bad game there.
Man, George Ford, I thought, had a really good game too.
Yeah, he controlled it well.
There was a lot of shit that he set up. A lot of the stuff that happened in that game.
Yeah.
He set up, and I know he's been even I've said you got to get him out the door.
Yeah.
You need some young, because oh man, Marcus Smith is just. He just has so much energy.
He does.
He brings he brings so much energy to the game, and that's what you want, right? You see that.
Yeah.
But man, when he first came on, he was getting fucking rocked, and he knocked on the ball or got turned over or something like that right away. It looked like he was about to have a bad game.
Yeah, me and you were laughing away because when you see Marcus Smith and he's waiting for a pass and it's like the camera's on him, but he's not got the ball. He's just stood there dancing. He cannot not move, right?
No, he's got energy for days. He's the Energizer Bunny.
He's like a little child and he's dancing around. And his try as well, he steps one player and then he fends another to score. He still had a lot of work to do against big, fast guys, and he made it look easy.
And he shouldn't have scored that try.
No, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying. He had a lot of work to do before scoring it. He's at home being a fullback, is what I'm saying, right?
England's missing a lot of players. They need a lot more players like Marcus Smith. When you're looking at the French backs, when they get the ball and they're just finding space, they're finding opportunities, they're just doing all this maverick game-breaking shit.
Yeah.
And then you got Elliot Daly on the wing.
Old man Daly.
There's nothing exciting about him. There's no X factor. He doesn't have an X. I'm not gonna say Elliot Daly's a bad player.
No, he's not a bad player.
But he's so basic.
He just does. He's a jack of all trades, isn't he?
Yeah. He's not. like great.
He's not exceptional or anything except kicking. Hell of a boot. But he missed that important kick though.
And like this,
and against Ireland. So
I don't know. Like guys like Borthwick want safe.
Yeah.
And like look what France did. They didn't play safe at all.
No, but it was kind of like the Ireland-England game. I never felt like. I think France was slightly better, but England were in it enough so that losing wasn't a morale blow, right? They played a hell of a game. Ollie Lawrence as well. Like in England, you were talking about this yesterday, how England have a kind of a centre problem because so many of their centre partnerships in the Gallagher Prem are not English players.
Yeah.
Right? So when that step up to international happens, it's like they don't really have as many options as you'd think in the centre pairing, right? Mm-hmm. But Ollie Lawrence was class. So he's definitely one for the future. I thought Tuolangi didn't really have much of an impact because he came on so late. But I think if you had Tuolangi and Ollie Lawrence together, that's a pretty beefy, fast, dynamic centre partnership, right?
It's a beef boy.
Yeah, but they're both quick, Yeah. They're both quick and steppy as well. Like they're both really good centres. Mm-hmm. They're not one-trick ponies at all. Having said that, Tuolangi's probably already injured. So it doesn't matter.
You know what, too? Another point about this game is England had this game won. And they did the same shit.
Yeah.
They did the exact same thing that fucking Ireland did last week.
Bad game management.
Danny Kerr had to put that ball out. And when he does it, he throws, he makes this kick and he kicks it like fucking another 10 meters?
Yeah.
And then just like puts all this pressure. Even the commentators like this ball has to go, he has to put this deep.
Yeah.
No. Fuck it.
Give it 10 meters.
Yeah, I'll give it 10 meters maybe.
We'll try and compete against some of the best
like why give
aerial players in the
I don't mind kicking the ball away when there's like that much time left, right? Because like it's hard to score.
Yeah.
But why put yourself under all that pressure?
Yeah.
Like they did Danny Kerr did the exact same thing Conor Murray did last week.
Why don't they just give it to 10 and give it because he's got more space to kick for distance, right? Like I just don't understand.
Well, Danny Kerr's a fucking...
He's a veteran, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a veteran. Like, he's like, I got this. Don't worry about it.
What is it about veteran nines coming on and ruining games this season?
That's what happened. They did. Like, the fucking Danny Kerr and Conor Murray, you guys, like, have to, like... You guys need to go in the rugby corner for a little bit because that was some sinful shit they did.
It was some sinful shit.
It was some sinful shit. Like, England had that game. Yeah. And they worked hard for it because they were getting their asses kicked for a lot of that game. Yeah. And managing to still be in it. And then Danny Kerr, this unnecessary pressure, bad decision making again. Yeah. Like, when I saw that, I was like, this is exactly the same situation as last week. Yeah. Which was kind of poetic. Yeah. But why
pass on the buck?
I don't know. Where do you think Borthwick goes from here?
I still think Borthwick is faking it till he makes it a bit. Like, I think all this like talk about he knows what he's doing is false because when they've been successful, it's almost by accident. Like the players who've made a difference, like Marcus Smith wasn't supposed to play at fullback yesterday and he made a big difference, right? And Feiwa Boso is kind of a gift to England. They didn't have anyone really lined up on the wing. No. This guy was like, hey, do you want to play for England? He's like, yeah, go on then. Wales are a fucking burning dumpster fire right now. I'll play for you guys. And when he plays, he's amazing. And those guys who bring that real attacking flair that have made the difference, they weren't exactly planned, were they? It's like Borthwick is a teenage pregnancy right now, He's like accidentally had this amazing child come into his life.
He's too safe.
He's too safe. So I don't think I think the English media will back off a bit. I think the RFU will back off a bit and go, based on the performances we've seen, we're happy enough. Yeah. But he really has to beat New Zealand in New Zealand to keep his job now, I think.
At least one game.
At least one game, that's what I'm saying. He has to win one game in New Zealand to keep his job.
Which now the sorcerer fucking... Yeah. Sorcerer Razor there.
Level 100 Crusader Sorcerer is there.
You're going into...
And they've got... I mean, with the greatest respect to England, because I have seen some... They've got no chance as far as I'm concerned. I think they're going to get battered.
In New Zealand?
Yeah.
You know what? At first, I thought that they were going to go in there and have a chance.
Yeah, not now. Things have changed.
But now, after seeing the difference that Razor had at Crusaders, and if he is the difference...
Yeah. I mean, he's at least 10% though, isn't he? Which is when the All Blacks are concerned, that's a big difference because they're already pretty fucking good.
I have a feeling they're going to sweep fucking everyone this year.
I think they're gonna mince them. I think I'm really excited to watch South Africa play New Zealand. That's the biggest game of the out of the Six Nations window for me this year.
Oh, mine's Ireland, South Africa.
I think that'll be good, but I've seen those two. I know what those two can do. I think because New Zealand is such an unknown right now, we're going to be talking about them in terms of the narrative has been who's better, New Zealand or South Africa, right?
Yeah.
And I think that narrative's been played to death a bit. What I'm excited about is where did New Zealand come into this?
Well, they're going to play England.
Before
everything.
Right. Yeah.
So Ireland and England will play those two teams before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that England, New Zealand.
They're the canary
series
down the coal mine, aren't they? So
is going to be interesting because we don't know how good the All Blacks are going to be.
I think they're going to be way better than we think, and I think England are going to be a bit worse than they think. And so I think New Zealand win all three, and I think they will win them all pretty comfortably.
There's only two games.
That's a shame.
They took a game out for some reason.
Oh, so you can't even have a decider?
Yeah.
That might be good.
So
player welfare, etc.
It's kind of lame, I think. But okay, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, the South Africa New Zealand game is probably the most exciting matchup to come out. What about the Wallabies?
Wales. I think we're going to play Australia, aren't they?
Yeah, Wales go down to the Wallabies.
The battle of the shitheads.
Yeah.
The battle of the dumpster fire nations.
These are two teams that need to fucking win that series.
Oh man, I didn't say it earlier, but something I have been feeling deep in my bones, despite all the we're going in the right direction bullshit, is like I just want to win. Like I'm a Cardiff fan and I'm a Wales fan, and I want just one of those motherfuckers to win a game of rugby, just so I can feel a bit of hope. It's hard. I love rugby enough that I'll never not love watching rugby.
How lucky did I get when I started watching rugby? I just didn't know anything about any of the teams.
Yeah,
I was like,
no one picks.
Oh, I got some Irish background. You know what? I'll cheer for Ireland. They look all right. And then they ended up being like fucking like one of the best teams.
Yeah,
I got so lucky.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of like that's not luck though, is it? You're going to pick a team who's reasonably good if you get to pick. I
didn't even know anything from anything though.
Oh, if you're genuinely telling me you just like picked them out of a hat and you didn't know that they were good,
I legit did.
Okay, fair enough.
I remember watching the 2015 World Cup final.
Yeah,
and the All Blacks were playing the Wallabies.
Yeah, and
the All Blacks were winning, and I'm sitting there thinking like, oh my god, wow.
Yeah,
like these guys are going against all odds.
Yeah,
like this is a country of like 4 or 5 million people.
Yeah, and
they're beating Australia.
Yeah,
like this must never happen. Like I had no fucking idea.
You sweet summer child.
Because everyone around me is cheering for the Wallabies, right? And I couldn't believe like, why are you guys cheering for Wallabies? Like, aren't you cheering for the underdog? Like New Zealand? Like what are you talking about? Like New Zealand? Because I had no idea.
It felt like a David and Goliath to you.
Yeah.
How little did you know?
Because I had no idea what the hierarchy of rugby was in world rugby, right?
Yeah,
I didn't know how good anyone was. I didn't like.
Well, Australia weren't that bad in 2015, mind.
No, they were great.
Yeah.
They were good, but I thought that like New Zealand were going against all odds to win. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. Because I think they're such a small country. I didn't expect them to be this like juggernaut. I had no idea they were a juggernaut.
Yeah.
And I think I only watched like a few games of that World Cup too. I think I only watched like a quarterfinal and the final.
Yeah.
Right. And then the Six Nations happened.
Yeah.
Right. And the Six Nations was coming up. I learned about that. Yeah. And that's when I was like, oh, I'm gonna cheer for Ireland because I got an Irish background, so there you go. Yeah. Can't cheer for Canada.
No,
they don't even exist.
No, they suck.
Yeah, they fucking suck.
Yeah.
Right. And they like rehired the worst coach ever. So like that's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, I'm all ready to give people a hard time about being, plastic Irishmen when they just, they look good, I'll cheer for them, but that sounds legit.
Yeah, that's a truthful story. I had no idea.
Okay.
And I chose to and the only reason why I started following Munster was because I was on a construction site and the equipment operator guy was an Irish guy.
Yeah.
And I started talking to him about how I was starting to watch rugby. He's like, oh, you got to watch Munster, man.
Yeah.
They're cool. That's my team. And I was like, okay, sure. I'll start following Munster.
Yeah.
Right. But then when I started
they've had a bit of a rough, they're pretty good. They're getting better again recently, but they've had a rough few years. So
yeah,
they were kind of they were between their very good periods when you started liking them, I guess. I thought you liked Connacht anyway.
I do.
Okay.
I do like them. That's when I started learning the game.
Right.
Learning where the teams were.
Yeah.
How who was who.
Yeah.
Right. Then it kind of changed my my narrative, like my own choices, my own little tastes.
Fair enough. Yeah,
so if you could sum up the Six Nations this year, what would you think? Was it anticlimactic? Was it?
It's a weird one because I think it's a real mixed bag, and I don't think that's a bad thing. It's hard because I've got such Wales sad glasses on right now that it's hard to look back. If I was trying to be objective, I would think that there was enough. Last weekend was one of the best, from a neutral's point of view, weekends of Six Nations ever in terms of close, exciting games. All of the games were fun and close and exciting. Yeah. Right. And
yesterday they were pretty exciting too.
They were good. And it's hard for me to say because I think the Ireland-Scotland game was the least enjoyable, and I hated watching us lose pretty convincingly to Italy. England and France was an objectively amazing game. Overall, the tournament's been good. I think the narrative of Italy being genuine contenders is the biggest thing to happen to the Six Nations since it started. I don't say that lightly.
There was a lot of drama this Six Nations.
There was.
A lot of stories, like coaches losing their jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. There was a lot of drama.
That's never far away, but you're right. Like, there was some fun, exciting drama.
Is Skelty going to lose his job?
Yeah.
Borthwick going to lose his job?
Yeah.
Ireland are just going to sweep this.
Yeah. I hate to say it because I know I come across as petulant about Ireland and jealous, which I am, but I think if I was an Irish fan, like, the double Grand Slam is historic and amazing. So I'm a bit sad they didn't get that. But I'm also glad they didn't because it made the tournament exciting again. You know? So if I was Irish, I'd be gutted because you're making history and your team is at the pinnacle and everything's amazing, and that's awesome for them, and they've worked really hard for it and they deserve it. But England beating them made the tournament objectively more interesting for everybody, you know?
Yeah, Ireland have to get that big game. Like
they've got a bit of a reputation as choke artists, don't they?
They do.
And I think the good thing for them, though, is they're now talked about in the same breath as someone talks about South Africa or New Zealand, right? Yeah. They are undoubtedly one of the best teams in the world. Whereas 10 years ago, all of the Northern Hemisphere teams, you wouldn't talk about them like that, right?
There was an Irish player yesterday that said, like, for Ireland to be called like a great team, like there's a few things they need to check off their list.
I think they are a great team. I don't think that's true.
Yeah, but like an all-time great team?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, beating New Zealand at home, yeah, great team.
That's a pretty big step, but I still think they need a quarterfinal win.
They'll get that. If I could talk to an Irish person who's worried about that, like, we all take the piss and it's funny, but deep down, everyone who's not Irish knows that's not a worry for you, right? You've had to face
I'm pretty sure Irish
they've had to play New
that.
Zealand twice in a quarterfinal, right? That's not an easy task for literally anybody. You know?
I thought both times they were going to win those games.
Really? You thought they were going to win? They got hammered in 2019.
I know, but I thought they were gonna. I thought they would win it.
Really?
Yeah, and then in 2023,
I thought they would win it in 2023.
I was for sure they were going to win it. I thought there was just no chance.
Oh, I mean, I knew it'd be a close game. You never write New Zealand.
And I was like, I was scared on the inside, but I was like, no, Ireland are gonna. Even when Ireland were losing in that game, I still felt like they were gonna pull out the win, especially at the end there.
I think that's a sign of a great team, is how your fans feel about you. And if your fans feel confident you can win against any team, you're a great team as far as I'm concerned. So, you know, if I was Irish, I'd probably, you know, you have that label as a choke artist, but they'll be all right. Smooth.
It's still not. But yeah, I think we talked about everything we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Are you happy with that?
Well, no, but, you know.
Next week, we're back to club.
I'm excited for...
Does Champions Cup start again?
We're only watching Super Rugby.
Oh, we're only doing Super changing now.
Yeah, we're not a URC best league team anymore, unfortunately. I'm fucking not, anyway.
Well, friends, if you have any questions for us, you can email us at thefriendsofrugbypod@gmail.com.
Thanks for stopping by to this very depressed corner of the world.
See you later, friends.